Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan battle video. So in this video I'm going to take you guys through the latest stage of the Infinite Dragon Ball history event that was just added for the Shadow Dragon saga, or well, at least the stage in which you fight against all of the different Shadow Dragons. So the thing about this stage is that it has two special missions. So those special missions are to complete the stage with 3 Great Ape Power category units and 3 Shadow Dragon Saga category units. Now, there is an easier way to get things done. If you have Gogeta, you can run a Kamehameha team and then use those units. But otherwise, if you're going to want to try and run everything in one team, you're really going to have to try and run a Shadow Dragon Saga team. Now the Shadow Dragon Saga team is pretty difficult to use if you do not have Gogeta, because the Omega Shenron is probably the biggest liability overall in terms of damage taken, and the Tech Gogeta himself is not entirely the best unit. So ideally you'd want to run Int Gogeta as your lead, and then you'd want to run the Strength Omega Shenron in place of the Tech Gogeta. But sometimes we can't really always have the premier units, so I'm going to try and use this team. It's a Shadow Dragon Saga team to take out the stage. I eventually do get it done. I do fail twice on the final stage, but I managed to get it done with this team, so you will see a little bit of an edit later on in the video. The whole key to this stage itself is mainly to run the Oceana Shenron and the Nova Shenron is one duo, and then to have the SS4s obviously as the other duo. You're gonna need to luck out a little bit on the SS4s, because if they get attacked before their full defense kicks in off of their SA, they can start taking quite a bit of damage later on in the stage. And then you're going to float the Int Gogeta. Preferably, if I had 2 Int Gogetas, it probably would run Int Gogeta in the first slot with an SS4 LR in the second slot for both rotations, but that's not possible entirely, so we're going with the next best thing. Int Gogeta is very good in this stage. Obviously he's a very premier source of damage, and he has quite a decent defense, so he's pretty good for the stage. It's kind of like to show him off. I unfortunately don't have him, so I'm using a friend's one as lead, and then I am going to run the Tech Gogeta also as a floater, and the Omega Shenron as a floater. Omega Shenron is going to require you to use items to keep him safe on certain stages. It's just how it is, and you're going to want to save your active skills from the SS4s if you have them for some of the later stages as well. The easiest way to take on the stage is to link the Nova Shenron and the Oceana Shenron. Oceana Shenron raises her defense on her SA, which makes her pretty tanky. They both share Cold Judgment, which is a defensive link, and Nova Shenron does buff the entire rotation with defense, and also he himself stacks attack, and so he can gain quite a large amount of attack. As you can see here, he's doing pretty decent numbers. 1.9 mil is really decent. You could link level them quite a bit more as well. I haven't necessarily link leveled my units for the Shadow Dragon Saga team that much. I wouldn't say they're like top of the line link leveled, so you could definitely do some link leveling work for them. The first couple units are pretty easy. They mainly can pretty much both have their damage lowered. The first one can be sealed, so there's nothing too crazy about these first 2 fights. The second one here, he can't be stunned. They can still have his damage lowered and his defense lowered. Later on, obviously, we get the standard can't do anything to them. They're basically a mortal gods thing, which happens in every single long form stage. For the Shadow Dragon Saga, there's not too many stackers. An alternative team would be to run in Gogeta and SS4 Goku on a Kamehameha team with who's the other Kamehameha unit? I think it's with, you could run them on a Goku's family team. for sure. Oh, and you could run the SS4 Vegeta on that team. So if you use a Team Gohan lead, you can use double Team Gohans and SS4 Vegeta agility one, and you could use the Int Gogeta and the SS4 Goku. That's one of the easier teams to make. If you have those 3 units, you can use them. That is a good alternative team. So as you can see here, we're kind of going through the stages. So basically your whole strategy here is to save as many items as you can for the later stages, and also to time your Dokkan attacks to heal you up when you most need it. You will need to start chopping and changing the rotations later on. If you're looking to just beat the stage, it's not any harder than any of the other Dragon Ball history events. So if you're looking to just beat the stage, just take your standard team you use for DBZ history events. You should be able to get all the stones from it. You're just obviously going to miss out on the special category stones. If you want to take on the stage with separate teams, the Great Ape Power team is probably best done on the Pure Saiyans team. And in terms of the Shadow Dragon Saga, I mean, you're probably best running that Kamehameha team that I just described to you. It's probably the easiest one if you have the SS4 Goku. So yeah, here with Oceana Shenron that we're fighting, she doesn't seem to have too many gimmicks going on, so she does randomly seal one of the units. But it's nothing that's too annoying or causes too many issues. As you can see, because we have the SS4 cards linked now, they're kind of getting their full suite of key links, and they're starting to output some really big damage. Gogeta's coming along, so all the active skills, Gogeta's, Goku's, Vegeta's, everyone's active skill, you're really going to want to save for the for later on. You're not going to want to keep that active skill for early on or anything. You're going to really want to save them for later on when you are pushing those last couple stages, especially when you want to do as much damage as possible. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to end up running out of damage and end up taking more damage than you can kind of muster, and you're going to really want to be able to breeze through some of the stages, especially when you're running low on items and you want to save those for the final stage. It's going to help you if you use them on like the second or third to last stage. At least that's what I experienced and what I'll show you here. So yeah, this guy here, so he hits very hard with his normal attacks from what I've seen, but he doesn't hit too hard with his super attacks. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but his super attacks don't seem to hit too hard, and his normals actually hit harder. I don't know if that's by design or if that was just from my experience, but he can't be stunned, so that's kind of a problem there. You're going to want to worry about your Nova Shenron and your Omega Shenron here. This is one of the 2 stages where you're really going to want to worry about your Omega Shenron, because he's really vulnerable at this point of the fight. Like, this is where he's sitting with quite a large amount of vulnerability, and he's going to take a lot of damage if, you know, you don't get super lucky there. This tech Gogeta does pretty decently, but I make a bit of a boo-boo, so I fail my one run, and so I fail the run, and I go and get a dupe in him while I'm trying to summon for Int Gogeta. And while I'm summoning for that Int Gogeta, and I get the dupe in him, I reverse him, and then I don't actually reawaken him, which is, let's say, quite a boo-boo. So it keeps my Tech Gogeta at a very, very weak level, which hinders me quite a bit. So that was an unfortunate error on my behalf, and I finished the stage with that. But obviously, if you have Tech Gogeta, please, I'm not unawakening him for no reason. He doesn't have like some secret advantage. He doesn't stack defense and attack indefinitely or something on his unawakened form. Please just use the unit as intended. That is definitely what is needed. So that was a bit of a boo-boo on my behalf. But so yeah, if you noticed that, well done. But otherwise I am fessing up to it in this video. So now we get to Nova Shenron. This is where you're going to start maybe wanting to use items. You're just going to need to be careful with stuff like getting Goku's 12 key, getting his 18 key and all that sort of stuff. You can see me here contemplating whether to use items or not. This is the third to final stage. So after this you'll fight Sin Shenron and then you'll fight Omega Shenron. Sin Shenron and Omega Shenron are very similar, but Omega Shenron is a tiny bit weaker in terms of defense, like he takes a bit more damage. But they both utilize pretty much all the abilities that have been utilized on you before. So you're going to want to be careful about that. So here's Vegeta with his attack stats. So Vegeta and Goku, as they get going, obviously get better and better. Goku's a bit easier to run because he gets his defense raise on his 12 key. So as long as you make certain that you get 12 key with Goku, you're going to be able to get him to dish out the correct amount of damage. As you can see, we're going to take very big hits. Yeah, very big hits with Omega Shenron there in the last slot. Omega Shenron is the biggest liability, so if you don't have any Goku and you're running Omega Shenron, you just have to be careful whenever you're keeping him in rotation, whenever he's on a turn. You have to make certain that you're watching out what's happening, that you're controlling what's going on. You can see here that I'm still contemplating an item, but I know that I need to heal up because I'm only going to have enough damage to maybe kill him off next turn, and that we don't have enough damage with the way we are right now. So yeah, this is something that we have to consider, at least at this point in time. So yeah, no Shenron's one of the harder ones. Sin Shenron's obviously a problem himself, but anything from this stage on is quite difficult. So just be careful with how your items go, and if you've got weaker units on rotation, this is where you're going to want to maybe just be concerned with how many attacks they're taking, and maybe switch up your rotation. If like there's no attacks in the middle, shift some of your stronger units if you can, depending on how you controlling the fight. We have Gogeta there. He does pretty well. His one main thing that he really has, which really does help him over Omega, is the fact that he can dodge super attacks. So he has the ability to like get more super attacks and everything. So that's very, very good, obviously, which we like. So I think from that perspective, you're really going to want to keep that in mind when you're going through it all. And then overall it's a good stage. I think it's quite fun. I think it's one of the more varied ones as well. We're moving into Ice Shenron. So Ice Shenron is in type, which plays into our favor because our only really weak unit is Gogeta to in type. So that means that we're not like concerned or anything at all. So yeah, it's pretty good overall that we have only the Tech Gogeta, but it can be a slight problem. If he catches a super attack from him, we're going to take quite a bit of damage. But that's where super attack evasion will come in comparatively to Omega Shenron. And we do have quite a few physical units, at least, to deal out some damage. You can hopefully get out some big damage from Omega Shenron on him. And that's probably the only part of the stage where Omega Shenron is actually not the one that's in danger of dying, which is pretty good from his side, at least. We don't really get lucky here and get like a whole swath of attacks from Omega Shenron, even though I've got 2 dupes in them. You can see he's still taking like 27k from... He's still taking 27k from a disadvantaged type unit, so it's not the easiest stage for all the Mega Shenron here. I think he manages to hold up just enough, which is good, because hopefully he's one of the units that gets a easy A, since category easy A's are occurring now. So hopefully that is one of the first units that starts getting them after they've now been brought out with the Int UI Goku's easier, because he really does need it. His lack of any kind of defense whatsoever, like his debuff on enemies is really good, but once you get to higher stages of long events, that can't occur anymore. So understandably, I mean, they might double down on that, make him only an SBR unit, but it makes them really difficult to run if you don't have the end Gogeta lead, because you just can't run a sufficient team in terms of, you know, Shadow Dragon Saga for long form events. So it's just going to be something that they hopefully can change, or maybe they'll just bring out a decent alternative. A new TUR Sin Shenron would be good, that turns into a Mega. I think we'd do one of those anyway, maybe even an LR version. I just think for such a powerful, like, such a powerful character from the series, he's really lacking in a, like, a super impressive card. Yeah, at least his strength version is good now, but it's good specifically for strength events and for SBR. We're gonna struggle once, you know, we get like new stages and things like that, where we're gonna need to run this on Omega. But yeah, we'll see as it goes along and just see how they go. But definitely, probably one of the units that needs a new card and a new just a new unit in general. I think a Sin Shenron would be great, something that can link with him, and then this one gets to the easy A. That will like make it very, very, very solid. But we'll see what they do. But he holds out for this event, which I think is really good, or at least he holds out long enough for this event that, you know, we don't feel too hindered by him being on the event, which is really good. And we can finish it with him. So I mean, if you can finish it with him, it can't be that bad. But yeah, definitely a unit that's in due of an upgrade. So that's enough about Omega Shenron though. As you can see, we're starting to get to that stage of the fight. As we're clearing out ice, we're going to enter with Shenron. There we go. And this is where the fight starts to get super difficult, and where you're going to really hope that you can get lucky and start nuking them down really fast. Because this is where stages can get very overwhelming if you let them carry on too long. So one of the things both of these units do is they prevent you from moving your units within rotations, and that's why it can be a very horrible stage and why you need your items, because sometimes you literally cannot move a unit that you don't want to take the attacks out of the way. And because of that, that means that you're really, really going to struggle, because they may catch super attacks, and you're going to need those items. Like, it's not going to be possible if you don't have those items. Also, him being physical is kind of their answer to Gogeta and to Oceanus Shenron. The next phase is agility, at least, which means that we don't have any disadvantages except for Vegeta, but you're really going to rely on those Vegeta crits and those big boy Vegeta attacks to try and push through as quickly as possible. So yeah, we're really gonna need to hope that we can get all of these units caught out and sorted, because that's really going to be where we're going to struggle the most. So yeah, we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, I think as you can tell, this is where we start using our active skills. I used my active skills actually here, because yeah, I basically, my concern here was that we're going to like struggle massively with all of the like fights going on and everything like that, and that was going to be a problem for us, but we end up not, which is good. But yeah, like, you need the attacks, especially Vegeta's one. You need, like, you have to have it. So yeah, we need that, so like, badly. But Vegeta hopefully gets the job done. Vegeta really gets the job done. So that's gonna be where we're gonna, you know, be able to play it the most, least. So yeah. Now we're gonna use the active skill from Gogeta. Also very similarly, because we kind of want Gogeta to, you know, control the fights and all that sort of stuff, and we're worried about him taking damage. Gogeta avoiding massive damage by using his active skill to raise his defense by additional 40% is going to be super helpful, because that's going to at least prevent him from taking a massive amount of attack from Sin Shenron, and then it's just going to leave us with a Mega left, which is going to be, you know, where we kind of sitting with that. So yeah, it's a rough time. It's a rough time, at least, that's for sure. So yeah, but overall, you know, the stage is fun. I enjoyed the stage. I liked it quite a bit. I was enjoying myself with the stage, and it was quite a lot of fun. And then, yeah, I mean, from there, you know, it takes a couple challenges and you need a bit of luck, but I think, you know, that's a sign of a good stage. Like, not too much luck, just I need a tiny bit of luck, you know. I just need that little bit more, which is good, I think, rather than having you know, 14,000 leads in different, you know, like combinations that you can run, but none of them really work, or you know, you can only run the stage with like 4 units or whatever. I think this is a bit better. So yeah, that was my run that ended in a fail, unfortunately. But overall, like, basically what I had to do to get the success was just to save 1 or 2 more items from earlier and just get a little bit luckier with double super attacks and that a bit earlier, which obviously helped with maintaining my items and just keeping things up. So yeah, we do manage to get the victory here against Omega Sharon, which is obviously super helpful. I also managed to save some of my active skills, which is, you know, which is pretty much like super important to get it all done. So yeah, it's definitely something I believe is needed. You need to save 1 or 2 more active skills. You need to save 1 or 2 items. I don't think you can get through a Mega Shenron without them. And one of the main reasons for this is just that he deals so much damage, and with that ceiling and that rotation locking, he can cause some real problems for your lineup. But yeah, so we managed to get things done here. We have, you know, the Nova Shenron coming in. He's going to get some crits as well, which is really good. He gets quite a few more crits than he did in the last one. My Nova has 2 dupes. Also managed to, on the successful run, get a friend in Gogeta that was 79%, not 55%, which is a big difference in terms of his damage, output, defense, just everything. Basically speeds up a whole bunch of runs and makes things a whole bunch easier. So that is just something like that you're going to want to keep an eye out for. So yeah, like, that is just something you're going to want to keep an eye out for in terms of like the whole situation. So yeah, but I managed to save all my active skills, which is, you know, very important and everything. I managed to keep things in check in terms of item usage, and so that allowed me to get this stage done. I think one of the most important part is keeping your active skills until the final stage, if you're going to keep them and you are running this team. But yeah, I mean, from Nova Shenron onwards, the stages are quite hard, so it is genuinely going to require a little bit of luck or a little bit of improvement to really get things done and to just control things a bit better. But yeah, like, very nice stage, very good stage. If you have done a DBZ history before, you'll know that this isn't out of the norm. Some of these stages start harder, end easier. Some start easier, end harder. This is one of the start easier, end harder ones. But I think overall that, you know, you can really do this stage with the team that they want you to run it with. I just think, you know, obviously if you don't have the LRs, it's going to be a problem. And otherwise, just run one of the alternatives that presented earlier in the video, or just run your own team. I mean, you get the majority of the stones. You get like 24 of the stones just from finishing the stage. So, you know, there's no need to run the absolute perfect team that's going to guarantee that you get all the stones. You can always come back and do that later and keep those stones or keep that access for yourself. So don't panic and think, oh no, well I have to, you know, do this and finish this and get everything done straight away. Like, you can easily maintain and finish the stage and then come back later and finish some of those challenges. I have a lot of friends who've done that. It's a lot easier to do that. So yeah, definitely something that you can look to get done. So yeah, just a heads up if any of you are looking at getting the stage done. But yeah, otherwise I hope you guys let me know in the comments and all that what you want me to do next. I don't know if you guys want me to take on all of the like DBZ history stages with the challenge based teams, or maybe with the easiest teams to get them done with. You guys let me know. I'll see what I can do. I've wanted to do them. There are content obviously that I want to do to just kind of have a historic backlog on the channel, more just for people who ever need them for reference, or ideas, or new players who've obviously started the game and want to be able to finish them. So yeah, you guys just let me know, and yeah, I'll definitely take a look at getting things done for you guys and finishing things up as quickly as possible. Since we've obviously managed to finish a bit more of the SBR content, we do have, you know, kind of a slot to be filled to expand on the more difficult content in the game, and DBZ history is part of that. There are more difficult kind of content for the game that requires a bit more team building and a bit more thought management. They are slightly easier, at least in my opinion, because generally defensive stacking units have time to shine, which allows a lot of them to perform in a way that allows you to control the stage a bit better with healing and everything like that, even if it does take a bit longer because there's no time limit or anything like that. Whereas SBR kind of hits hard out the gate, thus really preventing you from kind of running a generic strategy approach to it. But yeah, overall, pretty fun stage. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think definitely the new Gogeta does make the stage a lot easier, which I think is, you know, kind of the point, obviously. But yeah, definitely something that, you know, you guys could do with your standard DBH teams. I don't think you need this specific one. I don't think you need a very specific new strategy. It starts easy, ends hard, so the generic defense raising strategy units and the Kamehameha teams and all that will definitely conquer this stage and make it pretty easy and get you those stones. Please do your DBZ histories as soon as you can, or once you have teams that are able to. It's really going to help you with being able to clear content and get stones. There's quite a bit of stones sitting in them. So yeah, definitely take a look at that and get those things done. And yeah, otherwise this should be the end of it here. Vegeta's going to finish it off for us, which is going to be good. And then we have Oceana Shenron finish it off. Oceana Shenron did very, very well this whole video. I was very impressed with how well she did, just in terms of tanking. Obviously I know she's got decent defense and she stacks defense on her SA for a turn, so that she can at least improve that a bit more. But it's just overall is quite impressive how well she did just throughout the whole stage. So yeah, so that's it. That's everything done. It was quite difficult. I hope that this gave you guys an idea of what the difficulty of the stage is. If there was any unit I would replace, obviously like I said, run the Gogeta if you have him, drop Omega Shenron physical and bring in Omega Shenron strength. But here the stages, obviously just finishing each and every single one, and then there's, you know, the ones for the special category units, and then you also get an Elder Kai for finishing all the challenges. So it's something like 32 stones in general, plus an Elder Kai, which is really, really good, because obviously Elder Kais are good, and then the 32 stones is almost a full multi, so, you know, it's very, very helpful to do. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Thanks guys for watching. I know it's a longer form video, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers and bye.